This is Lemon's Car Spotting. You post to Instagram with the hashtag Lemon's Car Spotting. We pick the hooptiest.
They are so incredibly terrible.
And which one we want to become a real Lemons build.
It does car-like things. I've been pushing for one of those in Lemons too, and those are very affordable.
Welcome to Lemon's Car Spotting. I am Eric. That's Nick. You guys know how this works. You spot some crap on the street, you tag it Lemon's Car. You saw the intro. I don't need to repeat that. Basically what we do, we pick the car out of this set that is the car we want to see in Lemons and the one that's hooptiest. And then we talk about them all in between, and, you know, you've seen it.
Yep.
We'll do it.
And I'm going to choose for Eric which one he is going to select between the Lemon's car build and the hooptiest. Close your eyes. Tell me when to stop.
Stop.
That's the Lemons build.
There we go.
I feel like that was more of a fair. I didn't stutter nearly as much as I usually do.
There was a little lower intensity than a couple
yeah, I think
ago.
I just needed to back it up. You know, let this be a lesson for all you Lemons racers out there. You know, if you're just struggling to hold it together, you know, take it back a notch. All right. Let's go. What?
Twofer.
What? Why? Okay. It's a Eurovan.
Yep.
With the body of a Suzuki something on the roof.
Something we didn't get here. You know, we've talked about this many times about how there are many brands that are popular and well accepted and well spread across the world, like Suzuki and Mitsubishi, that just kind of, if they were here at all, it was for a short, unsteady time. So this is one of them, whatever the hell it is. So tell us in the comments, of course.
Yeah. You know, the Eurovan is a reliable vehicle with an indestructible transmission. So adding the weight of an entire another car will not phase it at all. None
whatsoever.
All right, next up.
You know, we didn't get the Eurovan in the Midwest, so that's always a bit of a novelty.
I've got many comments about that. You wait a minute. You didn't get them? Like they weren't sold there?
They just weren't around. Like nobody. I mean, nobody. I understand that nobody bought them in the United States, but even less in the Midwest, where you know everybody bought caravans. So. Yeah. Well, I would say that the Eurovan is one of the few cars that the Caravan is better than. So, you know, fair.
All right. Next up, you guys got the sneak preview. Holy moly! It's a Quantum or a Santana or a Passat, wherever, you know, depending on the market. Yeah. Now, I famously had a Quantum, or I should say my parents did, and then I briefly drove it when it was still around when I turned 16, which is saying something because that was a solid 13 years after the car was made. That was 13 years of Quantum driving.
Wow.
Boy, you know, so I've also said this a million times. You know, I grew up in the Malaise era, and so my poor parents were buying family cars during the Malaise era. And my dad's thought process was, I don't want a full-size Clark Griswold wagon.
Right.
I'm gonna get something. He was coming from an Opel. I'm going to get something that's kind of, you know, it's a family car, but it's kind of interesting and fun to drive. So 5-speed, 4-cylinder. The 5-cylinder was the superior Quantum, but 5-speed 4-cylinder Quantum wagon. I can't fault his thought process. It was just, you know, he was penalized by the times.
Yeah, I mean, what else was there in a wagon at the time?
The only thing in retrospect that would have made more sense would have been like the Corolla wagon. But it wasn't as cool. So I don't know.
Could have bought an Eagle.
Could have bought an Eagle and been Jennifer's dad from Back to the Future. I can't picture my dad doing that.
Yeah.
Oh man. So these have that weird Audi longitudinal engine with transaxle front drive layout. I don't even know what the 4-cylinder motor was. It was like a 1.6 or 1.7, but not the same as the one that got put into like GTIs, rabbits. So yeah, I don't know.
So maybe
we've
the Fox motor? It wasn't the Fox motor, was it?
I don't think so. The Fox had a smaller motor than even that, maybe. I don't know. I was just talking to a friend who she said, hey, I had a Volkswagen Fox, and I was like, oh, really? Like, have you ever heard of a Quantum? No.
Yeah.
And then, long pause. The Fox is a Brazilian Volkswagen. What?
Yeah.
And that was the conversation, and the kind of conversations that we have with non-car people.
Correct. Yep.
And for the record, the person who knows that the Fox is a Brazilian Volkswagen and that the Quantum exists is the worst of the two people in that conversation. By
Correct.
Far. So, not criticizing her by any stretch.
I agree with that. What color was your Quantum?
It was sort of a burgundy red, and as a matter of fact, the middle license plate there is the license plate from the Quantum.
Nice.
I can't make it go the right direction.
Closer to you, anyway.
There it is.
There it is. Blue plate special.
Yep. Also of note, this is not in this country. Looks like a German plate. So in the homeland with the much better Euro headlights.
Yep. Fan wheels are cool too.
Yep. Mine had those wheels. Those are 13-inch the little turbine alloys. Very cool.
Ample sidewall. Anyway,
yep. Yep.
Oh yeah,
man. The old Astro. It says Crime Watch. Is it referring to itself?
Yeah, this means watch me do crimes. Is what that
means. Some police departments in this country that would totally work, as a hiding in plain sight tactic. The police, you'll never fool me. There's no way you would do a crime in a car that says Crime Watch, and then proceed to do crimes.
I love the LED headlight replacement. This thing's seen some shit.
It has. It's God. Okay, we've established that we think that this is the car that it is in fact to be watched for doing crimes. Right. But for the sake of discussion, what if some apartment complex was like, okay, we need to hire some private security, and they did, and then this is what showed up. Like, again, I told you not to get the cheapest one. Man,
boy, that's spectacular.
Yeah, pretty good.
Absolutely amazing. No theme needed for Lemon.
No theme needed. Oh
yeah. N-bodies. N-bodies for the win.
What is it? An N-body?
N-body. It's like the weird. God. Again, we've talked about this. This is GM with their platforms that all overlap in a way that it's never clear where the distinction is. Is this a midsize? Is it a compact?
Right.
Who knows? But it's the GM version of the Tempo, basically.
Right. Yeah. Is this the same? So the missing of the trifecta here would be the Achieva. Is that right?
I believe that is true. So that is a Skylark in the back with the mismatched wheels and the weird shark mouth taillight thing going on there.
Yeah.
And then the Grand Am's on the OEM Pontiac wheels, so you can tell because they look completely ridiculous.
They look like they're from the land of Tron.
Yeah. I appreciate deeply how absolutely covered in moss that Skylark is.
Well, see, this is the whole thing. Like, to give the Grand Am the benefit of the doubt, like, I would be driving around, but the Skylark is blocking me. Like, I run perfectly.
Boy, and here's the thing about the Skylark that you can't see from this, and I think it's a later one, but the early ones had the beak And if you've seen the car, you know what I'm talking about. It comes to like a triangular prow on the bumper. And it's just the saddest looking thing.
It's an incredible and bold styling statement. And if you're going to bring one to Lemons, you have to get that. I mean, if you're going to do it, as we often say.
I'm pretty sure that's just a bumper cover that you could swap.
Yeah.
So if you get like a 97, you can go get the 91. We're not sticklers for numbers matching bumper cover.
For trim correctness on your Lemon Skylark, you can take some liberty. Also appreciating the mismatch hubcaps, the back one being the ever so stylish 3-spoke iteration. So
extra Tron. Yeah, we never had a Skylark or an Achieva. I think we might have had one Achieva once from this generation, and haven't had very many Grand Amps. So the N-Body is where it's at.
Oh man! All right, the Festiva
Life.
Hashtag Festiva Life. As we have pointed out several times, the Festiva, not a bad car for being a weird, badge engineered, Kia, Mazda, Ford product. Famously, the Festiva of this generation is the car that exists beneath the upside down Camaro. Right. And before the upside down Camaro was put on it, it was kind of a fine little car. Yeah. After the upside down Camaro was put on it.
It turns out
somewhat of a different story.
We can't even really talk crap about these. They're great at what they do.
They're pretty good. I mean, this is a far superior car to the Metro. I think.
Yeah. So. And if you disagree, let us know in the comments how stupid and wrong we are.
Or the third alternative that we're failing to remember. All right. Oh man,
much.
There's a lot. So much. There is a lot. Okay, from left to right, Mustang. Who cares about that? Then you've got double 2-door Tracker. Then moving to the driveway, you've got.
It's a Cavalier.
What is happening behind? Are there two cars parked sideways behind it?
Are they good call.
Are they both Geo Metros? There's a weird optical illusion happening.
Yeah, the optical illusion made me think it was like an '89 Civic at first, but you're right. The headlights are not on the same car.
Yeah.
Whoa.
There's a glitch in the matrix. Actually, it looks like a Grand Theft Auto rendering error. Where two Geo Metros spawn in the same place.
They have to be Metros because
what else?
Two Metros. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Now, Tracker, good little car. It's a real 4x4. With a 2-speed transfer case. It's truck based. So it's got a longitudinal engine, 2-speed transfer case, real front and rear differentials. So you can do real off-roading in it. Not that anybody would. Some people do. I mean, I think that like the Sidekick or like the Samurai, it's got sort of an off-road cult following. Yeah. But I kind of like those. I mean, it's one of those cars that certainly exists and makes sense in large numbers in other countries. Like if you're in Central America and you're driving on little dirt goat paths everywhere, this makes a lot of sense. Pretty reliable, real, actual, durable 4-wheel drive, and small size to sneak through the jungle.
Yeah. These two look like they're in pretty nice shape. Actually, everything, including the Cavalier, looks to be fairly intact.
Nothing looks abandoned.
Which a scooter in there too.
Yeah. Some kind of 2-wheeled device. All right. Well done, sir, on your collection. Mm-hmm. Oh man. It's all right. Which body is this then?
All right. This is an A body.
Yeah.
So I think this is a Century. Buick Century. So Century, Cutlass Sierra, Celebrity, and the Pontiac 6000, of course.
Of course.
I love and I've never noticed this, and maybe it's specific. No, this one's just broken. Okay, that makes sense. The silver window trim was absent from the C-pillar back. But that's just fallen off, which happens. I mean, this is in suburban Chicago or on one of the expressways out of Chicago. It looks like 55. Yeah, I mean, these things are around. There's literally one a block away from where I'm sitting right now. That color.
I do not see these regularly. Although famously, I saw one street parked in Tokyo once.
That's incredible.
Which was unusual with chrome
the
wheels.
Series of choices leading up to that car being in that spot must be amazing.
Yeah. But I mean, much like the Quantum, there's nothing wrong with this idea. And, and much like the Quantum, maybe the execution left a little bit to be desired. But, now we're at the point where you can't get a small wagon like this anymore.
Right.
Certainly makes me nostalgic for the times when you could. So,
yep. I owned the Cutlass version of this for a year or two. Horrible car. Yeah. But at like 65 miles an hour, all of the chassis harmonics are just like perfect and it just kind of floats.
Yeah. 67 and it all goes to hell.
And it starts.
Yeah. All right. Oh, man.
It's a Cougar.
It's a Cougar. We've said in the past that going to a junkyard is kind of cheating. God, this guy's got like a crazy. There's a power wagon, whatever the military whatever truck. There's a cab over like a GMC COE truck back there. Obviously, a late 60s, early 70s Ford next to it.
It's a fire truck too.
Yeah. Obviously somebody's. Oh, and maybe is that what do they call those? Those big military trucks that like the sort of greenish, like it could actually be like sort of a fire paint scheme behind the cab over. There's a name.
You know what that is too.
Yeah, there's a name for those. One of them was like a reference to the weight that it could carry or something, or where it was like
somebody in the comments will know
the 2.5 ton or whatever, something like that. Anyway, I'm sure we will be corrected and be told that we are idiots as always. So Cougar, first generation Cougar, very cool. I would probably prefer one of these to a same year Mustang coupe, although they're longer, right? I think the Mustang proportionally is a little nicer, but just the details of the Cougar are cool. Hidden headlights, sequential taillights, all that neat stuff. Yeah.
I think that they're a little bit bigger. They're certainly heavier, but, mechanically similar.
Yeah.
I think they might have put the FE motor in these earlier.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that. This was taken by Ed White, by the way, who is from North Carolina, drove all the way to California to do the California rally, and then took this picture on the rally in Pahrump, Nevada.
Yeah.
So this is probably just somebody's yard in Nevada. Pretty good.
Yeah. Yep. This kind of thing exists, probably reasonably rust-free. So there you go. Obviously, apart from the surface, the entire surface.
Yeah, correct.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
There it is.
Talking about the Eagle. Yeah.
Now, 2-car team, SX4 Eagle, Suzuki SX4.
Boom. Done.
Done and done.
You could do about 9 laps between the 2 cars and win an IOE.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, obviously the Eagle has a sort of cult following among car nerds. The SX4, it's incredible.
Yeah.
There was more than. What are all of the Eagle variations? So the wagon, the 4-wheel drive wagon is the most common, I think.
Yeah. There's a sedan.
Yeah.
And then this
this.
So
was there yet a 4th one?
There might be. I know that the way AMC was operating at this point was like, we have $14. We need a new car.
Yeah.
So they basically, excuse me, with the Gremlin, they just cut the weird ass off of it and did this and called it the Spirit.
Right.
So this is a Spirit with all-wheel drive.
Right. So
And
it's
then,
basically like a 4x4 Gremlin derivative.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So you can put all this stuff under a Gremlin if you really wanted to, I guess.
Yeah.
What's incredible is that Highball Racing was the team that famously raced AMCs in the 70s. And when AMC switched from the Gremlin to the Spirit, they wanted to race in brand or whatever because they were getting, $7 of the $14 that AMC had.
Yeah.
So they literally cut the backs physically, like with a cutting wheel on the Gremlins, and like grafted the thrown away parts of failed QA Spirit rears to make their race cars.
To be fair, that's not different from what they were doing in 1959 at Ferrari. So
yeah, correct.
And those cars are worth millions of dollars. So
yeah. So when you find the Highball Racing AMC Spirit, it has real provenance and is also worth millions of dollars.
Yeah. Also, rare equals valuable, as we say.
I do love how awkward this looks with the giant wheels and tires and the tiny body with the short bobtail.
Well, it's like a stomper. It's like a life-size stomper for those of a certain age. The only unfortunate thing is like, it came out, the sequence of those things being released meant that people our age weren't given the option of buying the life-size stomper once we became old enough.
Right.
Although I guess we could just get an old one. What are we doing?
Be right back. Gotta go buy one.
I gotta go find an SX4 and buy one. All right, last car for this week. What in the Shriners Parade is happening here?
All right. So Alan Dahl in the comment has the scoop on it, and we need that. It is some kind of kit car based on Pinto, basically, and sold through select Ford dealers. Oh my God!
Wow!
Imagine in 1981 going into a Ford dealership and seeing this thing.
So that was like, how we talk about now how boomers go in and buy a Corvette.
Yeah.
Take that back to 1980. This would have been like greatest generation era people going in and seeing a Model A and wanting to buy it.
But it's like 3/4 scale.
Yeah, it's not. There's something wrong, very wrong with the proportions. God, it says it's got a 2.3 Pinto, which, is not a bad choice given the time period. Wow. Well, I will say, not to jump the gun here, but I don't think it can be a Lemons build because we've had a couple of kit cars and Lemons or kit car adjacent things like Bricklins. And it's just really difficult to make them safe. And something this small and this kit car-y, I think we'd probably just have to reject it right off the bat.
Yeah, I mean, how well is that put together underneath the fiberglass? There can't be any structure to that car. I know I rode in a Pinto-based Gazelle replica, and it felt at highway speeds like the fenders were visibly flapping by like 2 or 3 inches. So
somebody on the California Melee Vintage Rally, so my good friend Pete and his buddy Alex, they brought a kit car. I think it was the Meiji, which was the MG. It was like an MG TF replica.
Right.
And it was Volkswagen based. Flat 4 in the back and all that. We called it the MCGD, which stood for the Master of Ceremonies Genuine Draft. And they wore thrift store tweed coats all weekend and almost killed themselves for various reasons.
Yeah.
Which is, that's the kit car experience.
I think so. Yeah. Boy, that is something special.
Yeah.
Very special.
Yeah. All right, let's do some awards. You've got the hooptiest.
No, I got the lemon.
Oh, you've got the lemons build. I keep writing this down wrong. Okay, well, hooptiest then. Boy, tempted to go with the Quantum because I have firsthand experience, but it looked like a pretty nice Quantum. And, poor execution aside, I don't have any ill will towards the Quantum. Plus, isn't that car like somehow the most popular vehicle ever in China? The second generation Passat / Quantum.
That's I think I have read that or something to that effect. It is
Tell
at
us
least a
in
very
the comments.
car.
Yeah. Tell us in the comments what the deal is with the B2 Passat as it exists in China. Yeah. Well, since let's see. I'm really tempted to go with this thing as the hooptiest because it's just the whole thing is very hoopty. I think any other day it would be, but I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning. Oh, man. Or am I just going to stop here? Nope. I'm going all the way back to the beginning and going with the Eurovan with the Suzuki on top. I mean, one thing that can be said about Volkswagen van owners is that they are a creative bunch, right, if misguided.
Yeah.
And they might not understand the mechanical implications of doing what they're doing with something like this. But, the world needs more people like that. The people that have completely no regard for safety, practicality, or what is physically possible. And they just make something like this happen for the world to see. And so, there's an essence of hooptiness in that.
Yeah, I agree. This one just needs a Crime Watch sticker on
it. Yeah.
It's funny. I mentioned the Chrysler or the Caravan, being the car that sold. And I find it hilarious that when Volkswagen later decided they needed a minivan again, that the Volkswagen Rutan was the badge engineered Chrysler Town and Country.
Yeah. Maybe they realized that the Caravan was better too. And if you can't beat them, join them, as they say.
I think that's right.
God, when was the last time you saw a Rutan? That's a hell of a lemons car.
I know where there is one in my neighborhood. Apparently, this is just people buy these things around where I live, or I live around where people buy things.
Bad car decisions are happening. Yep. Yeah,
I think so. Well, for the lemons build, I got to go with a car we haven't had yet, and it was on your hoopty short list. So I think the mid '90s Skylark and the Grand Am, the 2-car team, or at least the parts car provider for the Skylark is totally.
Yeah, no, 100%. Well, and the poster up there at Federal Way in Washington. I assume that's Washington, D.C., because it's Federal Way, but maybe not.
No, Federal Way, Washington's in Washington State.
Indeed.
Part of Seattle. But,
hence the moistness.
Yes.
So, Jet City car spotting. Oh, yeah, Jet City. There you go.
Yeah.
He already has called out the fact that this will be a perfect 2-car team. So,
yeah, nailed it. Yeah, 100%. So, put a cage in that thing. Don't take any of the moss off of it. Slap a number on it. You got a lemons car.
You're done. Leave the hubcaps on it.
Yep.
All right, that'll do it for this episode. Keep the post coming. The content has been great on Instagram. Tag it with Lemons Car Spotting. We'll find it here. Maybe we'll pick it as the Lemons build, and double maybe somebody will actually make it a Lemons build. That would be sweet.
That's the aim. You think 60s Skylark guys just cry when they see these?
I mean, I would hope so.